Hi there, welcome to That Board Game Show. My name is James Wood, and today I'm going to show you the solo campaign for Lost Ruins of Arnak. Lost Ruins of Arnak can be played with 1 to 5 players. And today I'm going to be showing you that one-player side of the spectrum using the solo.arnak.game website developed by CGE, who published this game. So today I'm running that on this tablet over here, and you can use it to either play the game solo as just a one-off standard solo game. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tap on this Play Campaign button, and we're going to play Chapter 1 of the campaign. So playing the normal solo mode, you simply play up against a rival, which is represented by all these pawns over to the side here. And they will basically simulate another player at the table, and your goal in that mode is to just score as many points as you can and beat the rival's score. Playing the campaign is a little bit different in that it gives you a specific objective that you're trying to work towards, and it also gives you a little bit more of a story. So that's why I'm choosing it today to show you here, because I think the story just brings a little bit of extra flavor and it gives some more depth to the experience we're having over here. So with that all said, let's tap this big Play Campaign button and dive in. And the first thing we will do is read the prologue. When a wealthy sponsor approached our small team, offering to fund an expedition, I could scarcely believe it. Its sole goal would be to locate the lost expedition of the famous Professor Coutil, who vanished about a year ago. The man was widely known for his supposedly delusional claims that a lost land was hidden somewhere in the uncharted waters of the Pacific Ocean. Needless to say, we accepted right away. I was already familiar with some of his research, but let me tell you, this entire endeavor was much more challenging than I had anticipated. I must confess I was on the verge of giving up several times, and would have probably turned back long ago, if it were not for my dear pupil, Antoinette Dupree. You could very well say it was she who found this wondrous land. Her tenacity and judgment do not cease to amaze me. Sadly, life is not filled with only pleasant surprises. I recently discovered that Antoinette has decided to rebel against my leadership. She formed a splinter faction in our expedition, gaining many for her cause. I must have been too blind to see it. She is a great scholar with a passion for knowledge and accuracy, and was a great friend too. But maybe she is too young, too greedy to gain recognition and fame. Still, she is an inspiring figure nonetheless, and many are swayed by her passion. Our expedition was supposed to be able to face anything. But with the split happening, and so many following her lead, I fear we might not accomplish our goal here. And now we will meet our rival, Antoinette Dupree, and we will choose the difficulty of our rival deck to use during the whole campaign. So once you've set this, it stays at this difficulty level throughout. And how we set the difficulty level is with these action tiles. We can determine whether or not we use an easy one, which is green, a more advanced one, which is red, or a really challenging one, which is purple. And then the number of red or purple tiles you use determines how difficult the game will be. So for today's one, I will simply use 2 red and 3 green, some middling difficulty, an adventurer difficulty level, and my starting resources will be 3 gold and 1 compass, which I've already given myself over here. So having set that up, we will now confirm, and we will move on to Chapter 1. So tapping on Chapter 1, we will see the Lost Expedition. When we first arrived, the land seemed pristine, but soon we found signs of human passage, wreckage of a plane near the shore. Surprisingly, it appears that with the right equipment, we might be able to repair it. What a discovery! On our approach to the wreckage, we disturbed a strange beast, a giant owl, seemingly a statue hewn of rock. However, it flew off as we approached it. Our poor cook is still in shock over this. He claims to have seen it carrying something away, possibly a book. But if that was some kind of journal Coutil left behind, we should definitely try looking for it. For now, we have decided to look for any signs of the expedition in the jungles near the shore in hopes of locating any possible survivors, while also trying to track down the owl to retrieve the book it carried away, for it may hold priceless information. However, we have encountered beasts in the jungle, the likes of which we have never seen before. Giant, majestic, and fearsome. Some become friendlier when offered gifts. Others, strangely enough, respond if you best them in a fight. They become almost tame, lingering around, even helping us for a while. Never have I seen such a thing. I sincerely hope we will have time to study this phenomenon. For better or worse, Antoinette and her followers decided to pursue a different course of action, focusing heavily on studying the ruins. I do not know what their aim really is, but we can say for certain that they have shown no interest in looking for Professor Coutil so far. Perhaps she plans to claim sole credit for discovering the island. And next, setup. So I have already gone through these specific setup steps, which change up how you set up the game quite a bit from the standard solo mode. We remove a few cards. We set aside certain cards in certain locations. For instance, we put the aeroplane over here on this special action tile, representing that crashed aeroplane that was spoken of. And at some point in the game, we can spend a turn to fix that plane and add that card into our deck. And then we add the journal over here underneath the Owl Guardian. So the Owl Guardian has grabbed the journal and flown off. So once we get up to this level on the research track and defeat the Owl Guardian, we can then add the journal to our deck. So let's dive in with the first turn. We'll tap play and we'll flip over the first action tile for the rival. They will attempt to overcome a guardian. There are no guardians for them to overcome, so they will move up the research track, going to the right because of the little decision arrow over there. And that's it. Now it's my turn. Let's see. First thing I will do is pick up my 5 cards from my starting deck and see what I have to work with. I have 1 fear and 2 jeeps and 2 boats, some funding and some exploration. Let's see what I can do with that. So I need to get up to this space over here. And in order to get up to that space, I need to go exploring to get resources. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 of my coin and I'm going to buy this hat over here because I cannot resist the opportunity to buy a hat and add that to my deck for future use. So that goes to the bottom of my deck over there, and that will come up next turn. When I buy something, all of these cards slide over and we reveal a new one from the item deck. That was my entire main action. You can do 1 main action per turn and any number of free actions, and free actions are denoted by this little lightning bolt symbol. But I'm going to call it quits at that, and we're going to see what the rival does next. Let's see. The rival will go over to this site, and they will collect some rubies. We don't actually give them any rubies, they just go block that space and take the rubies off elsewhere. So in the 2-player or solo mode, we cover up these spots on the base camp tiles with these little markers, just to tighten up the board a little bit. So typically with more players, you could go there if you spent 2 boots, but with just 1 or 2 players, there's only 1 opportunity to go to each location. So to represent that, we cover up the second location with these little tokens. And now, because the rival has gone there, I cannot for this round. And that's it. That is their entire turn. Now back to me. I would probably be smart to try go exploring out there. So the next thing I'm going to do is play this boot and take one of my explorers and put them on this base campsite to go pick up an arrowhead, because arrowheads are pretty hard to come by. Plop that over there in my little storage chests, and the rival will take a turn. Flip that over, and the rival will go block off the place to get some tablets. And then I am going to go exploring. So I'm going to play these 2 exploration cards as free actions to get 2 exploration tokens from the supply over here. And you will see that I have all the tokens in these little plastic trays, and I have all the cards in sleeves. That does not come with the game as standard. These are add-ons that I have added on in order to protect the cards so that they don't wear and scuff and get nicked on the corners, and to just make setup and tear down a little bit quicker with all your components in little trays ready to go. So you simply take them out the box and put them on the table and you're ready to play. So that was a brief interlude to my turn. I will now play a boat, a little boat symbol in this funding card, to send my other explorer off to one of these locations. And now I can spend those exploration tokens, those little compasses I picked up, to go exploring, because that is the cost over here. And now this is a slight tweak to this campaign mode. Usually you would just pick up the top tile from this location deck and add it to that spot. But in the solo campaign, you pick up the top 2 action tiles and you pick one. This just helps you advance along the track and get the resources you actually need, instead of leaving it all to fate. So we'll look at those 2, and we'll see that this one will give us a coin and an arrowhead, and this one will give us a compass token, a ruby, and 1 fear. So we can go to there and get some really good stuff, but it's a little bit of a spooky place, and we come out in a cold sweat, it would seem. So let's see, I already have the arrowhead and I already have coin. So I'm not going to go with that one. I'm going to go with this spooky one over here. This tile I did not choose goes to the bottom of the deck over there. And we place this on the tile I just explored. We pick up this, which is representing a story marker. These are tokens that came in the game. You can use any cubes or little glass beads or whatever you want for marking these. We take that and put it over here next to the research track. And I'll explain how that's important a bit later. The next thing we do when we explore a new site is come over here and take the top guardian tile from the stack and add it to this location. So this location is being protected by a giant lizard dragon creature. And in order to overcome that lizard dragon creature, we have to spend 1 boot, 1 tablet, and 1 arrowhead. So that might prove a bit tricky, considering we only have an arrowhead at the moment. But that is a problem for another time. Right now, we have added this over here, and we come over to the app, we tap on player, and we will tap on the little story marker matching the location we just explored. And this will give us some little additional bonus and a little bit more story. And we find an abandoned campsite. Today was a lucky day. We stumbled on an old campsite, undoubtedly left here by the first expedition. Looking through the scattered things might give us some clues to their destination. So we can get a coin or a tablet, but the campsite has been raided by beasts. One set of footprints is particularly unusual. It could be one of the great beasts, and examining its trail might prove vital information in dealing with this particular guardian. So that will allow us to mark a revealed guardian on any site with a compass token covering its cost. Overcoming this guardian now only costs 1 compass. So we could use that to research and study this guardian a little bit, and instead of paying that cost, we can just pay the 1 compass token. However, we have no compass tokens, and I don't have any compass tokens left in my hand. So that's less appealing. I'm going to go with this top action, I'm going to rummage through the abandoned campsite, pick up a coin and a tablet. So that was rather interesting. Then we place the story marker on the research track. Just did that. We can close that out. And now we are able to research this first level. In this solo campaign, we can never research beyond the level on which there is a story marker. So we go back to the rival. That was my entire action. It is now the rival's turn. They will flip that over and they will attempt to go to the place to pick up arrowheads, but oh dear, I'm already there. Haha, I beat them to it. So it's back to me. Back to me. Now I have a decision to make. I could play this Jeep as if it's a boot to satisfy the boot cost over there. And then I've got the tablet and the arrowhead, which would allow me to overcome this guardian. And then if I don't overcome that guardian, I'll get a fear card at the end of the round. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to give myself that fear card when I explored that site, so that goes into my play area. So I think probably my best option right now is to do this. So I will play this Jeep as if it were a boot. I will discard this tablet and this arrowhead, and I will overcome this guardian. So this guardian comes over here, and it is now a friendly, helpful guardian. And I can use that friendly, helpful guardian to overcome some of my fear, because it has this little exile symbol, and it's an instant free action. So I will flip that over, and I can now exile one of these fear cards back into the deck, getting it out of my hand, because they're not very helpful cards, and they're worth negative points at the end of the game. That was the end of my turn. Let's see what the rival does. The rival will research again. So they go up to that spot, and they will remove this little token. So there goes an opportunity for me to get a tablet. And they will also remove one of these assistants off to the side here. And they will always take from the highest stack, and if there's a tie, the decision arrow decides it. So they'll take the leftmost assistant, and that assistant is now out of the game. So that assistant clearly went off with Antoinette to join her little team of explorers. Unfortunately, let me see. Okay, back to my turn. I am now rather limited with my options. As you can see, I've played all of my cards, and I only have 3 money. A special action in the solo mode is at any time you can spend a main action to spend 5 money to pick up this plane. But right now I don't have enough money for that, so I could look over here. Let's see. That army knife is rather tempting. It gives you choose 2 different options, so it's quite a true Swiss army knife over there. Yep, I'm going to do that. Be a good Boy Scout and go get myself a Swiss army knife. I should already have one of those in my pocket, shouldn't I? In fact, I do already have one of those in my pocket. A trusty Swiss army knife that I always keep handy, because you never know when one of those is going to come in useful. We slide all these over. And the rival will take another turn, flipping over the action tile. And this is now one of these red bordered ones, so a slightly more difficult version. So as we can see on the app here, we are told the rival does not discover new sites or reveal guardians in this solo campaign mode. Instead, they randomly draw an idol from the box. So in this instance, we will draw 1 random idol from the box off to the side here, and that will get added to their board face up on the matching icon, and that will be worth 3 points to them at the end of the game. So we are still playing for points in this campaign. It's just that we've got this primary objective. So if we fail the objective, we can still tally up our points and see how well we did, but we technically failed that chapter of the campaign. So we want to do the objective as our primary focus while still getting a decent score at the same time. And that was it for the rival's turn. It is back to me, and I have nothing left that I can do. All my things are gone. All my cards are played. all my resources are spent, all my people are on the board, so I will pass. That is the end of my actions for round 1. And now we will keep on flipping action tiles for the rival until they have gone through their entire deck. So the next one is they will claim the most valuable item card, and if there's a tie, the leftmost. So in this instance, they'll take this grappling hook. They look at the point value and take that and flip it face down into their little stash of items over there. So they came into base camp and picked up some items, taking that opportunity away from me. And we flip over the next one, and now they will take the least valuable artifact. So up here we've got these items on this side, and we've got artifacts on this side. So the items are things that we brought with us on the ship on this expedition. These are things that will help us early in the game. And these artifacts are things that we will find on Arnak, amongst the ruins and in the jungle. And these are things that we can pick up as we explore the island. And more of those will be revealed as we play. For now though, there's only this one, so that is now also gone into the rival's deck. And we reveal the next one from the top of the deck. Flip over their next action. They will go and claim some gold over there. And as you can see, that is the end of their actions. So now we will tap on next round, boop, and reset and play it all over again. So the rival explorers go back to their camp. My explorers come back to my camp. I shuffle up all the cards that I played in the last round, and I place them at the bottom of my deck. Then I will draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the top of my deck. So those cards I bought last turn will now be available to me. And one more little step is to exile these 2 cards over there and over there, representing the passage of time. We slide the round marker over to round 2, and we reveal 2 new artifacts. Starting round 2, the rival will take the first action, and they will take the least valuable artifact card. So this coconut flask is now gone. They discovered it before we could. And now I can pick up my hand of cards, and we can see that my trusty Swiss Army knife has shown up and my trusty hat. So I can put on my hat and get a coin and a exploration token. And I could use my army knife as any 2 resources over there. So I want to try to do some research, because that is partially the name of the game here. So I'm going to play a boot over here with this fear card and send my guy over there to pick up an arrowhead. And that is the end of my turn. Let us flip over the next action tile for the rival. They will research once again, and they pop up over there. And back to me. I will then play this army knife as my main action, and it lets me choose 2 different options. I can exile a card, gain a coin, gain a compass, or gain a tablet. So I will gain a compass and a tablet, I think, because those are rather tricky things to get. I could exile the sphere as well, but there'll probably be other opportunities to do that later on. So I'm going to get the things I need right now. Let's get a compass and a tablet from that one. It is now the rival's turn again. Flip over their action tile. They will go block off the location to get some more coin, so I won't be buying anything anytime soon. I will then spend this arrowhead and this compass, and I will move up on the exploration track. Drop those back over there, and move my magnifying glass up the first step on the exploration track. And then the bonus for moving on to that level is 1 coin. I get that from the supply. I cannot research any further until I go exploring again, because we need to reveal these story markers up the side here before we can continue the research. And you will see I've got this magnifying glass and this little book symbol. And they have different effects, primarily different bonuses as you move up the research track. But you can never move your book marker further ahead than your magnifying glass, because the magnifying glass represents you exploring, studying, seeing the land, and the book represents you writing that all down. So naturally you can't write something down that you haven't yet seen. So I will do the next action for the rival. They will head on over there and go study some clay tablets, blocking off that action for me. And now I have some more tough decisions to make, because I can get some exploration, but then I won't have any cards left to play symbols to move my explorer out. What I shall do is I shall play this boat, because you can use a boat or a jeep as a wild to replace a boot. So I'll send him off by boat instead of by foot to go pick up some rubies. And whenever you see this little symbol, you have to play a card from your hand without getting any benefit from it. So I'll play that other exploration card. Rewind all that. I won't play that card to do that. I will rather send my explorer over there playing that boat, and I will get a compass and a ruby, but I'll also get one fear. So these basically just clog up your hand with less useful cards and negative points at the end of the game. So you don't want to have too many of them, but an exploration and a ruby, that's a bit too tempting. So let's get those two over there. And that was my main action. Back to the rival. They will go to that spot I just changed my mind about. So they go pick up the other ruby. And now, because I have that ruby, I can move up my book on the research track, which will go over to there. And when I move my book onto this first level, I can pick up an assistant. So I go to this little display of assistants over here, and I can pick one. Let's see, this lady with the little pug over there will let you exile cards. She comes up to you with her little pug and banishes all your fear. And we have a sailor captain over here who will give us some exploration tokens, or a boat, so we can use him instead of playing a card from our hand. Or this jack of all trades type fellow over here will allow us to buy items or artifacts at a reduced cost. Let's see. What do we like the look of? Probably the lady that lets us get rid of fear, considering the amount I am clogging my hand up with. So yeah, let's get her. And who can resist a little pug like that? So they come ready into your supply over there, and then she has a free action, which I have no reason not to use right away. Boop, and get rid of this fear. Go snuggle with the little puggle and feel all better about myself. And once again, main action all done. The rival will purchase the most valuable item they can, which will be this chronometer. Oh dear, I had my eye on that one. It goes over into their deck there. We slide these over. Reveal a watch. Ooh, that's tempting. Because as you can probably notice, I have somewhat of a soft spot for watches. So any card that gives me a watch and in the game it'll give me money, so it's a win-win. So with that said, I can't resist. I will spend that one coin and I will add a lovely little watch into my collection. Back to the rival. They will attempt to overcome a guardian. There are no guardians for them to overcome, so they will research instead, and using the decision arrow, they will go all the way to the left and discard that little bonus token. Let's see, back to me. I have decisions to make once again. Okay, I could play that hat as a free action. In fact, I might as well just play both of these as free actions because I do not have my people left. So we'll play these two as free actions, and we'll get 2 exploration and 1 coin. So we will have 1, 2 exploration. We now have the 3 exploration we need to go discover a new site. And 1 coin, which will maybe let us buy some stuff just now. The rival will gain another idol from the box, and they gain a tablet one, so that goes over there. If ever they were to draw one that they already had, so if that had been a coin, it would go face down over here and be worth only 2 points at the end of the game. So they're trying to collect a variety of all the different types of bonus tiles over there. Let's see, back to me. I could spend that coin right away and get a gold pan, but I don't think I will. You do want to be a bit careful with your deck building in this. If you have too many cards, you don't actually cycle through them all that quickly. Okay, so actually, on second thoughts, I'm going to spend this exploration I gained from my free actions earlier. Discard that over there, and I'm going to get this stone jar up at the top here. And when you gain one of these artifact cards, you immediately play it. It doesn't go to the bottom of your deck like an item does. So you immediately play it and get its bonus. And then you will see that it has a little tablet in the corner. So in the future, when you play this card from your hand, you have to pay 1 tablet to be able to use its bonus here. But right now, I can play it immediately, and that will allow me to draw 1 card. So I can pick up a card and get something to work with. We will now reveal a new artifact card, perform the next action for the rival, and they will attempt to go pick up the arrowhead, and once again I beat them to it. So I could now play this as a free action, which I will do. Boom, and get another coin. Boom. That being a free action, I can now look out here and see if there's any items I wish to buy. I could afford that airdrop, exile this card to gain an item to your hand. That could be rather handy. In fact, that could be very handy. So that's basically banking that card to get a more expensive and powerful card later on. So I will buy that airdrop, add it to the bottom of my deck, slide that over. And now we will see that the rival has run out of actions. So I could keep going. If I had the resources I needed to continue doing actions, I could just keep going and going and going until I passed. However, I have no resources to do any further actions. I can't research up here because I don't have a ruby or an arrowhead. And so I shall pass, shuffle up my cards from my play area, drop them at the bottom of my deck, draw 5 new ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Send the rivals, adventurers, explorers, people back home. Bring mine back to camp. Exile these 2 cards. Boom, boom. Move into round 3. Slide that over. Reveal 2 new cards. Enter the next round on the app, which just shuffles the deck over there. So everything is set for round 3, but I think I'm going to wrap it up there for today because I've shown you pretty much all the main actions you can do. I've shown you a good selection of cards. Clearly, in order to get up to this token up over here, I need to do a lot more research, in which case I need to do a lot more exploring. And as you saw, the exploration tiles can give you quite good bonuses. But I think I'll leave all that for you to discover on your own, playing through the wonderful campaign provided by the publishers of this amazing game. And I'd love to hear from you what your experiences of playing Arnak, if you've played with the campaign, if you've played with other people, if you love playing it just straight up solo without any of the extra digital companion stuff. Let me know down in the comments below. And with that said, I'll say thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show.